Hey everyone, welcome to episode 4 of Ann David Limited Presents. My name is David.
And I'm Lauren Ann from Ann David Limited. And we are a company who seeks to educate the masses on financial literacy, how to save, how to invest, how to manage your money, just to build overall wealth. And in that, we have a special guest today. We're really excited. His name is Donovan Rolle, or you may know him as Jay or Jason. And he'll be talking to us about the cost of entrepreneurship. So allow me to introduce him. Been a father of teenage and newborn twins. He's a sports enthusiast, a focused entrepreneur of Jayfitness 242, author of The Heart of a Spartan, a speaker and an endurance athlete and triathlete. He has completed the Ironman triathlon, and for those who don't know, that is swimming 24 miles, biking 100.
2.4 miles.
Oh, sorry. Swimming 2.4 miles, then biking 112 miles, and then running a marathon of 26.2 miles, one right after the other. So he's very accomplished in this area. Donovan is a proud Bahamian with a Bachelor's of Accounting, certifications in group fitness and project management, a distinguished Toastmaster, and a member of the Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Donovan is known for his competitive spirit, always in a beast mode, and he always gets the job done. So, further ado, Donovan Rolle or Jason.
Yo. Thank you for that introduction. Lauren. I appreciate you. Before we move on, David, never let the truth get in the way of a good story. If the woman said I swam 24 miles, I swam 24 miles. What's the point? You know what I mean? Come on, man. Let me live, my brother. Let me live.
Yeah. But we're so happy to have you on the show today. Obviously, you're bringing so much energy to the show right now, and we're excited to talk about this topic. But before we get into the topic, the cost of entrepreneurship, we want to get into your new book, the Heart of a Spartan, that's coming out soon. I know you mentioned sometime in April or May. So we just want you to talk about that book. What is the Heart of a Spartan?
Well, The Heart of a Spartan is basically the heart of a champion. One of my favorite books of all time is actually 300. You know, a small amount of people overcoming insurmountable odds that may have seemed insurmountable to few, but it comes from a belief process that you can make it through no matter the odds that are ahead of you. You just have to start on that track and believe in yourself. And also, the book came out when I was training for a Spartan race with a obstacle called course races. I actually hurt myself doing a fraternity friendly event. And I had to get back in shape, rehab in a few months' time to make sure I completed the race that I'd signed up for. So therefore, so the book really spoke about me going through the rehab process, going through the life lessons, and how even though the physical was the point, it's all about the mental, and how my journey from a pop quadricep to competing again in obstacle course races can be translated to anything we need to do in life, because there's always going to be some obstacle we need to face. There's always going to be some setback, but with belief and work ethic and a strong mindset, we can push through. And that's basically what the book wants to drive home.
Okay. So, Jason, clearly you are very athletic.
Clearly.
You've completed a Spartan race and you've done a triathlon. So I guess we want to segue into your current entrepreneurship endeavors. This show is on the cost of entrepreneurship. So we want to know, how does that translate into you starting your Jayfit business 242? And when did you start?
Well, I started, let's call it about 12 years ago. And what I like to encourage people when we talk about the cost of entrepreneurship, it's the passion of entrepreneurship, So my initial entrepreneur endeavor was from my passion, which is fitness. I've always competed. I come from a very athletic family. I ran track at the big red machine, so winning is in my blood. So
sorry, Donovan, you had to put that in there.
Hey, my brother. right? So even with that, and then after that, after my college career, I came home and I just was working out to stay active. So I was working out in the gym, doing stuff. So I sort of got away from the running part. I just was lifting more. And then I got into the fitness competitions that the gym had. I won that. There was a new competition, Mr. Caribbean, Bahamas. I won that, came second in the international competition. And then people started to reach out to ask me to train them.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no, I really don't have the time and XYZ. That's not really what I'm doing. I'm focusing on myself. And then I realized I had an epiphany. It's that I'm being selfish because I'm watching people are asking to be trained. I'm watching individuals train people in the wrong way and fashion. Like it's like you're clearly going to injure this person. You you're not. This workout routine is not geared to what their fitness goals are. So then I saw it as an obligation for me to get into the industry, and because of that, I started Jayfitness. We started on my carport. We like we literally on the carport. I started out in science like, no, the tile too slippery, so outside we go. We started there. It just blew. We went to different locations to outdoor fitness and different gyms to do Jonko aerobic sessions. So, and that's where it blossomed from there. And what I like about J Fitness, what I kept true to is that we are a fitness family, not just, we're not a club. We're not, we're a family. So we have that family atmosphere. We encourage each other to talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I realized that Lauren may be able to reach David better than I can as the instructor. So we encourage dialogue. What are you doing? How are you feeling? What pitfalls you had? How did you get through that? And maybe these are some of the things that work for me that could work for you. And we keep it real. Last Saturday, we had a member who celebrated a birthday, so we had cupcakes and some libations. It's because it's life.
Yeah.
We're not living a false life because I don't pretend to be something I'm not.
Mhm.
I like bread, I like cake, I like cookies. However, I also put in the work, and that's where it comes from. Even with your health and wellness, and as relate to entrepreneur too. A lot of people see the glitter and the goal of other people doing things and forget, but you have to work hard. Or where did this person come from overnight? This person has been putting in work, So, and even that, we go back to one of my favorite books, Who Moved My Cheese. Even when you get to a certain point, you still have to keep on turning and turning and turning to make sure you stay relevant and push out a good product.
That's a good segue into, I guess, because you mentioned a lot of things. You mentioned passion. You mentioned hard work. So one of the questions we wanted to ask you is, what are some of the key attributes that are required of an entrepreneur? What you see in entrepreneurs?
I think one of the key things is a winning mindset with an amazing work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
Because oftentimes we have people come with a pie in the sky idea, and oftentimes it may not be a pie in the sky, but their work ethic doesn't match it. It doesn't match their vision. So therefore, it is a pie in the sky to me. When your work ethic matches your passion, we can slowly chip away and get there. But when you assume it's going to happen without you working, without grinding, without failing and getting back up, without reading, without reaching out to people, finding out what they did, yes, it's your dream, it's your passion, it's your goal. So you can do it the way you want to do it to make sure it's tailor made to you. Because at the end of the day, if you fail, you need to fail doing it your way.
Mhm.
So therefore, I could come to David and say, "Hey, David, man, I know you're doing this thing, blah blah blah," and I have to be mindful not to let David tell me how to do it, but just listen to David, hear his experience, and see what I can take from that and put it to me, and what I can take from that. Be like, I need not to do that.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's it. You have to work. You have to grind. You have to eat what you kill. I mean, kill what you eat. If you want to eat, you got to kill it. So you have to go out there and make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, really good points. I've might have heard it in a different way, but at the end of the day, you have to put in that work, and also you need to have vision. You need to dream,
Mhm.
and that completely makes sense. And well, you're really successful, so look at what has gotten you.
Once
So
again, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. But and here's the thing: And this is why you need certain people in your corner. Like you need a Lauren in your corner, but you have to make sure Lauren is not someone who's not going to tell you, Emperor, you're naked. You know, so you can't have just people who just going to build you up and don't let you know, hey, you really talking fool. Hey, these goals you say you have, you're not working towards them. So what you can do, and that's where I don't want to get ahead of myself, but that's where the team is important. Yes, as an entrepreneur, you might be the driving force because it's your dream, your vision, but that's where the team comes into play. Who are you going to surround yourself with? You know, someone doesn't say, yeah, man, whatever you say, Jay, let's make it happen. Yeah, you making sense. No, you need somebody to say, babe, you should slap yourself for even saying that.
Yeah.
You know? And I surround myself with those type of people.
So
and when I get down on myself, those type of people also say, hey, don't forget what you did. For example, Rodney Beers in the chat now talking like he often reminds us to babe, Rodney, we slogan, babe. You know, we ain't getting it done, you know, because he's the editor of the Fit 2 series.
right.
But it's like, babe, because you have so much you want to do that you're not realizing the milestones you're reaching sometimes. And we need to celebrate the journey. Because even with me, oftentimes when I finish a product, I finish something, I set my mind out, the celebration, the excitement is short-lived because there's something else to do. Or I've learned from that. Now let's take it to the next level. So you have to have people who's willing to go on the crazy journey with you and hold you accountable.
Yeah, you talked about just having a good support team around you is what helps an entrepreneur grow and see success. And so that is very important to have that strong team around you who can tell it how it is.
Yeah, man.
Be honest with you when you're doing something wrong or they see something wrong. They can say, listen, maybe you should try it this way. Look at it from this aspect of things. And so that is good. But you mentioned something as well. You mentioned the Jayfitness series. Talk about that a little bit as well, because that's another aspect of your business as well.
Right. And that came about let me just segue into that, the aspect of being an entrepreneur. You just can't stay one way. You can't just be singular. What ended up happening was that because of the COVID environment, we had the opportunity now to go virtual. So then I got on to these virtual platforms. And then from then, I started learning. And then me and two guys were talking and then just say, hey, just do it. Oftentimes, as entrepreneurs, oftentimes as individuals in relationships, job, anything, we overthink it. We're just like, let's do it. We had no idea what we were doing. We had a camera and we go on like, so clearly we're not there where we want to be yet because we're learning so much now, but there's a clear difference. We can see the growth from one episode to the next. So the Fit 2 series tries to bring people in the community together, whether it's political, motivational. We had comedians, we had entrepreneurs on, we had fitness professionals on. So it's just we bring whoever on and we say it's the Fit 2 series. So it'd be like, what are you fit to do? The episode that's going to drop this evening it's called Fit to Save. So we have a CPA who's going to tell us about financial situation. We had Andretti being on who was fit to dream. We had DeCressa Dean on who was fit to inspire. You know, so we had different people on this, and so what is your goal? How do you see yourself? And that's how we do it. So if we had Ann David on, it would be fit to come on the spot, Ann David. Fit to
So wait, on the what?
Fit to financial literacy.
Yeah, there we go.
But it's a one word. It have to be a one. It have to be a verb. Yeah, one verb.
Oh my goodness.
Action words on the spot.
You're putting us on the spot, man. You're putting us on the spot.
Fit to save, invest, build.
One word though. You
know, that's one word. One. So
there you go.
Yeah, man. So it's a free flowing flow. We do not do takes. It's once the camera starts rolling. So it's a real conversation. So we don't start over. You don't know what's coming. It's authentic. So what you see is actually what was shot. It wasn't let's go back, let's cut it. It's like, hey, bang, 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 bang. We're going. So it's just not so we talk about what the person feel is, but we also want the audience to get to know that person as well. So that's what we hope to do with our Fit 2 series.
That is awesome.
And how often does that drop, Jason?
Once a week. So we in our second season already. So it comes on a Sunday. We drop the teaser on Thursday and we drop it on Sunday. So after this, we're going to get together and I'm going to send it out and then we're going to go from there. It can be found on our YouTube page, our Instagram page, Jayfitness242. That's Jay Fitness 242.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Perfect.
Jay,
Hey,
so we want to get back to
I'm
managing.
ready to work out, man. Dave, y'all have the energy. I feel confined. Let's do something.
We'll do some jumping jacks after the show.
Yeah. Okay. Say no more.
But
Say no more.
but you talked about having a large vision, and then only putting a certain amount of work in, and not putting enough work in so that you can meet, or establish or achieve that vision that you have for yourself. So I wanted to kind of segue into uh, managing expectations and the reality of entrepreneurship, because sometimes you go into entrepreneurship with you have this large vision of what you want to achieve, but the reality is that to get to that vision, sometimes it takes a very long time, and you have
Yeah.
to grind it out. So talk to us about managing expectations and the reality of entrepreneurship.
Right. And to get into that, it goes back to one of the sayings we have in our Jayfitness family, which is one of the chapters in the book: consistency or silence. Oftentimes, if people are held more accountable for what they said, they wouldn't say it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because we have these big dreams. So let's say I did have this big dream, but I didn't realize what it took. So that's fine because we still set our SMART goals, being specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. So if you're specific about the goal, and when you get into the journey, you may need to adjust your time.
Mm.
You see what I mean? Because you might have realized it wasn't realistic for that time frame for you to accomplish that. I believe that we can accomplish anything we set out to do. I firmly believe that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I just believe, how long would it take? I do believe you need to be flexible in how you go about it, because you might say, I want to go this way. And we all know the life of entrepreneurs, this, that, backwards. So if you stay true to what you want to do, you are going to find a way to get you closer to that. It's going to be frustrating because you thought, hey, I did this, I did that. Here's the way forward. Here's what this person did to get that way. But everyone, the cookies crumble different for different people. So you have to stay focused and committed to your business idea. Oftentimes we go after ideas that are not ours.
Mm.
So therefore we're not committed to it because it looks good. You know, 99 cents breakfast selling. It's not my idea. I could join it. So if it failed, they're like, oh man, this is hard work, but that was someone else's dream. You know?
Mhm.
But to play
So
devil's advocate, Jason, what if I say I woke up this morning and I said, you know what? I think I want to become a gymnast.
mhm.
At this moment, no flexibility. Let's say I was not athletic. Um, let's say we might not have the best facilities. I mean, there might be some obstacles. So how realistic should you be? Can I just dream like crazy things off the wall, or do I need to dream things that are more or less in my lane? And what is your
Now I gotta cut you. I got to cut you.
Just asking, just asking.
These lane stuff and all that stuff is an illusion. We're in these lanes because people place us in this lane. People tell us what we could do and can do. You know what I mean? So, and I say these things just based on my story. I went to SOC so I could have swum across the pool. But if you ask if I could have swim, I'll tell you no. So I just jumped in. So I signed up for a triathlon in Abaco, where it was supposed to be a 500-meter swim. And they actually got the buoy wrong, so it was longer than that. I was the last one out the water. Like the dude on the canoe was on the side of me. You all right? You all right? Like he was afraid for me, but I said, I'm already here. You know what I mean? I borrowed a bike. I didn't even have a bike. And because I was unfamiliar with the bike, I didn't change gears. I was like, boy, I don't want to change and something happened. So I rode in a hard gear straight through. So what I'm saying is jump in. You are going to learn on the way. You see what I mean? So it's nothing unrealistic. If you want to be a gymnast, you're not that flexible, it's going to take you longer than someone who's more flexible. So what? Adjust your time, adjust the way you're going to attain it. Don't adjust the goal. Adjust the time, adjust what I need to do. Don't adjust if you really believe it. And What is your why for starting? Another chapter in the book. Sorry, see.
Yeah.
So I believe in these things I say. So when you find your why, you're gonna find a way to make it happen.
Okay.
You see what I mean? I want to do it because of X, Y, Z. If you're serious about that, I will make this happen.
So then in my example, just, trying to make it practical for people. So if I said, okay, I want to be a gymnast, I said that this morning, say didn't have flexibility, like I said, was not athletic. So my dream can remain the same, and I would have to do what I need to do to become flexible, to be able to do all the tricks and stuff. But would the difference be that I can be a gymnast, but perhaps not at a high level because I'm older, or would I need to adjust the dream? Like I can be a gymnast, but not at a certain level, or I can dream the dream as big. I still want to go to the Olympics, and I still want to be that level of gymnast. Or
And watch this. As you go through the journey, maybe you need to adjust it, but here's how you need to think outside the box because you're older. I think they have gymnasts for I can't remember what it's called, like the Olympics for advanced age masters.
Yeah,
So
master.
you still would be an Olympian, but you would be on the masters level. So
God,
your goal was to be an Olympic gymnast.
yes,
So you still can work. Okay, you can't be these 14-year-old girls who've been getting bent up from 12, from 2.
yeah,
So as you go through, you'll explain, but if I stick with it, I can qualify for the Masters Olympic. I will still be an Olympian.
got it. Okay. See, I like how you have to learn to think outside the box and be flexible. You took the same goal that I had to be a gymnast, but you made it, I guess, I don't want to say appropriate. I don't know the word, but you made it realistic or appropriate for my age, the amount of time I need to put in. So I still achieved the dream, but it looked a bit different than what I originally dreamed.
Right.
And that's okay. That's not a failure. It's just you're pivoting, so to speak.
Right.
And it looks
Right. And that's also where the team comes in. There are few decisions I make without discussing it with somebody. I might go to different people for different things, but there unless I have to make it on the spot, there are few decisions I make without saying, hey, this is what I'm thinking. And because I build relationship with those in my inner circle, they know how to be truthful to me.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to take offense. And sometimes we argue when they want to give me too much words. Man, I'd actually, what you thinking, man? I don't, I don't need all those words, those sentences. What you thinking? Because sometimes we want to spare people's feelings. But if you came to me for advice on something, you should look past how it may come across and the words, because I would assume I went to David for financial advice. So if they say you're doing fool with your money, I shouldn't be like, well, you didn't have to say it like that, Aunt David. You just could have said, on the path that you're heading, you will be in financial ruin in short order. So we get caught up on how someone said instead of this is the problem, let's fix it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Jason, we want
Yo.
to ask you, all right? I'm curious based on what you said, I'm just curious to see what your response would be to this. How can you tell when it's time to continue to persevere versus when it's time to pivot in your business itself as an entrepreneur? Because I can tell you based on our experience, when we first started the company, we started as a merchandise company, only selling t-shirts. And we did that for Independence of last year in 2020. And it did extremely well. And then we went through a kind of a period from July, once Independence were a huge lull where nothing was happening. We were doing everything we can, putting in 100%, and nothing was coming of that. And so we kind of took it upon ourselves to get help from someone else, a marketing person to assist us. And he helped us to kind of assess, what other things are we passionate about? What are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? And that's what led us to pivot to creating Ann David Limited and focusing on financial literacy. We had to make that pivot. We realized that it wasn't working, and so we had to kind of shift. And now, we're steadily growing and we're seeing growth. But so in that situation, at what point, at what point do you pivot and you realize, okay, this may not be working?
I see what you said there is awesome, what many of us miss. we have to have realistic conversations with ourselves. You know what I mean? Yes, it's good to be tunnel vision because it's be so much from the outside saying you can't do it, you can't do it. So you have to believe in your dream. But you said, hey, let me step back. I looked at the numbers. I seen our business plan. I saw the growth here. Okay, we had a spike, but now what is going on? We're still putting in the same work. Maybe this is not the best market for that.
Mhm.
And you pivoted. And oftentimes the market will tell you what to do. You just need to be listening.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? So, and then you learn things from growth. So once you, if you didn't stick with your plan, you wouldn't have known if what you were doing was working or not. You'd be like, it ain't working. Then it would be haunting you. Did I put in enough work to see it through? But you guys knew that you put in the work. So maybe now it's time to steer in a different direction. And that's where growth comes in. Because before this, I just was Jay exercising, we're gonna get you right. And then it went to, okay, Jay is doing speeches now. So you're doing reaching out. So and then it went to, we're doing fitness conversations to now motivational speeches to now being an e-presenter. So you have to evolve with the times because I was always one of those people, anything online, I call my sister, say, y'all set it up, you moved it, you do this. I don't even set it, I don't even order online. I say, you send the picture and I can say, yes, I'll send you the money. But when COVID came, like you said, you had to pivot.
Yeah.
So I had to pivot to a virtual setting.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? So with growth, with individual growth, your company should grow because now you have more information, you have more knowledge, and that's where the book is coming out now. It's more things on YouTube, a LinkedIn page. It's Jay expanding the brand from hey group fitness to personal training as well to health and wellness seminars at the job. So you'll realize, and you have to be comfortable with it
Mhm.
because if you don't believe in what you're doing, it's not going to happen. And once again, that is where your team comes into play because you said you got a marketing consultant. So you have to step outside us and say, we may need help. We don't have all the answers inside us to our brain. Yes, Lauren is a very brilliant young lady, but and you weigh her down a little bit. But even with that, we still have to
Jay
go
said,
outside for more information.
I like how you slipped that in there. Though. I was waiting on my compliment as well.
Yeah,
But,
you understand your role as number two, so good job. It's
well,
important to understand your role.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
Oh goodness gracious.
Yeah. So,
So the I guess another segue, we were kind of discussing. We feel that clearly entrepreneurship, it's amazing. I mean, if you do it right, you get great results. You feel satisfied. You're providing quality to the market, getting money in exchange. So certainly, all these businesses around here, someone started it,
Mhm.
entrepreneur. But do you feel that sometimes we're living in a culture where entrepreneurship is glorified and people don't truly understand the sacrifices or what goes into becoming an entrepreneur and maintaining to be a successful entrepreneur?
Right. See, once it goes back to consistency. So I'm gonna go in all kind of different directions with this. I might age myself. Here's the thing with being glorified. Like my generation and above, especially above, it's like no, no, no. Go to a secure government job, blah blah blah.
yeah.
So entrepreneur was frowned upon. Now this generation, working for someone is frowned upon. But I think we could be somewhere in the middle. Like I'll never work for no one. Why wouldn't you? Many people were able to do something successful. Like I don't get the mindset of where working for a business is a bad thing. Why can't you do both? I recently saw something online. A guy said, I can't remember the name of the book, but it was more or less saying working 9 to 5 while being a millionaire, like with his own goals. You understand?
Right.
I started Jayfitness with a 9 to 5.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna knock it. Uh, does being a entrepreneur give you more freedom, more time to spend with your family? Yes, but it also costs you more sleepless nights because if you don't have the clients, you have or COVID happened, you have to pivot to see where you're going to go to make things happen. When you're working for someone, that stress of figuring out what is next is on them.
You're right.
Your contract is to show up and complete a task.
Right.
Them making sure you have a task completed is their problem. You know, so that there are pros and cons. So we need to be mindful of frowning upon it, and then other people just saying, if I not can't be entrepreneur, I work for no one else. Like, to me, that is utter foolishness.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, so where are you going to learn? Isn't it better to make mistakes on someone else's job than when you have to pay for it? Let them pay for it. That's just smart business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or even if you're going into a different business than the place you're working 9 to 5, that's your capital. So you don't have to go after investors. You actually earning your capital to put into your business.
Mm.
So you have a quote unquote sure income, because nothing is sure these days.
Yeah.
But on Friday, every week, every month, every 2 weeks, that pay is going to be there once you do your part.
Yeah.
As an entrepreneur, you could do your part more, and that pay may not be there.
Right.
So while it's glorified that you can have your own time to yourself, there are also times where, bro, is this working? Does this make sense? What's the next move? You
Mhm.
don't have those concerns on a 9 to 5. So to glorify it or not, I just think there's some place in the middle where we can have both.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure many of us have a passion that we want to do, and you can start while you're working your 9 to 5
Right.
because you have time. You have time to work on these things, and you can learn a lesson. You will realize whether you want to move into this entrepreneurial sphere or not.
Yeah. That's a good point, because it's, you don't, like you said, you don't have to jump in 100% right
No.
away. You can kind of start off small and build into it to the point where it's sustainable, and it actually you can live off of those monies which you're making from your side hustle, and therefore shift to that. But in the meantime, you can work that 9 to 5, and that's okay.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that's not saying that you're less committed to the side hustle at all. It's just saying that you're taking baby steps so that it's fully, when you make the shift, you're secured and you're good to go.
Right. And you've learned from the business.
Right.
So many, because I think new business closed down in the first 2 years, a high percentage.
Yeah.
So you're working on your plan whilst you're getting paid. So you could avoid the pitfalls, and you have more capital to put back in, instead of saying, I lost all my money in this business, because you're making money. So yeah, like you said, baby steps. Baby steps are still steps. Forward is forward, my
Mhm.
brother. I don't care how big, how small, you're moving forward, you're moving in the right direction.
So, Jason, can you tell us how was your transition from, well, going from 9 to 5 and then full time into Jayfitness? How did that process work? How did you manage the stress, your time management? You had kids at the time. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, well, so I go from kids to kids. Someone got to talk some sense to me. So
Yeah, yeah. And
I
I
have,
think we need to mention that you have
Yeah,
two sets of twins.
yes,
I think that
Two
needs to
sets.
be stressed.
Yes.
entrepreneur. You gotta work. You gotta do it, man. So yeah, I have one set about to be 16, and the next set about to be 5 months. So yeah, go figure, crazy, right? But here's one thing that I realized about jumping straight in, and I didn't realize it until because you have to do some retrospective thinking. I was doing certain things while I was a 9 to 5 with Jayfitness, because I had a 9 to 5, and I had to understand the time frame to make sure you're giving everyone that due pay.
Mhm.
What I realized initially is that I still was doing Jayfitness like I had a 9 to 5. So I still had a 9 to 5 mindset while being an entrepreneur.
Mm.
So I wasn't pushing last. I showed us like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. So then I had to adjust and be like, oh, no, no, no. You actually have more time to do J fitness stuff, because I got so used to just compacting my time and doing it. And the good thing about just jumping straight in is that, okay, I need to make it happen. So now you have more time to listen to people talk in your family. You have more time to not rush back when you do a school run. They need to redo this law. I don't care who you are, there's no way you could pick up, do a school run, and get back to work an hour. Either the school or the home is close to work. It's going to be very, very, very extremely difficult. So if the child is not in place, so that's adding stress to the family life now. Where you been? I got to get back to work. Boom, boom, road rage. So but we know this. So that's where the just jumping in it gave me those freedoms, so I could comfortably ask how was your day and just relax because that time is not set. I could make it happen. So I just made a decision to jump in because I did enough homework. I realized where I wanted to head, and it was just time for a shift.
Yeah.
I discussed it and I made it happen. I love the idea. Once again, even though I'm an entrepreneur, I'm not against a 9 to 5. If
Right.
the right 9 to 5 come, I would do it. But I'm not going to do any 9 to 5 that's going to take Jayfitness away.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we have to do things that make us feel alive. Yes, we have to be responsible. Yes, we have families. All these people need to take care. People are depending on us, but we are not good to ourselves if we're not doing things that uplift us. Whether
Mhm.
that's your business, whether that's reading, whether that's joining a club, we're not good to ourselves if we're not doing things that uplift us. And fitness, wellness, that uplifts me. When I need to be centered, I throw on my tennis and I go for a jog. You know what I mean? So helping people is part of my plan, part of my passion. I love to help people. So and that's why I created a family atmosphere with Jayfitness. So yeah.
Yeah, that
Nice.
that's amazing because not a lot of people find or they're doing what they love so much or they're passionate about, and you found that sweet spot. You have a passion for fitness, and you're doing it on a full time basis.
Yeah.
And only a handful of people who are doing what they're passionate about. So that is amazing that you can do that.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I mean it's tough, but hey, who wants easy?
yeah,
That's what I say. Like, it's tough. Who wants this? Oh, when we're working out, I'm tired. I'm about to die. Then the question is, but did you die? Put in the work. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Put in the work. Worst case scenario, you're gonna learn something. It doesn't matter what it is. Put in the work. Don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah,
Right.
No one wants to fail. Let's be real. No one wants to be laughed at or look foolish or second guessing. And when we make these decisions to be an entrepreneur, remember you made it. Stick with it. Whatever the results, live with it.
right.
Because if it didn't work out, man, I know I shouldn't have done that. No, you have to be committed to it.
Hmm.
You understand? So think it through, follow the plan, and let's go.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Jason, the $1 million question. The debate will probably last until the end of time. um, can entrepreneurs be made or are they born?
Woo!
$1 million question.
Um, I don't know if any. We are all born with everything inside of us. You know what I mean? It's what nurtures it. Because we know, hey, you go to school, you do that. No, we don't have time for that. If you want to do this, singer, band player, entrepreneur, this, sell this, make that plan B. Make sure you go do this in school. So we are brainwashed to believe that we only could do one thing.
Mm, mm.
So I think we're made, man. I think everything is we're born with everything, but it's what would grow. There's a saying that you have two wolves inside. I can mess it up. I always messing up quotes, but by the way, so the one you feed is the one that grows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So if you believe you're an entrepreneur, you're gonna feed that. You're gonna put in the work to say, hey, I have to work and make it happen. So you know you can do it. If you believe, but see, it's not for everyone, and you know if it's for you. And like, um, I like certain food. You know what I mean? Certain food I don't like.
hmm,
You know, so if you realize if it's for you or not, and if it's not for you, so be it. If it is for you, so be it. So I once again, I'm rambling, but we are born with everything inside of us. And I think oftentimes we have the entrepreneurial spirit, but it's broken out of us. How many people you know were selling cup and baggy or salty or flipping books in school or you know what I mean? I selling something. These people are entrepreneurs.
yeah,
They know how to get things done.
yeah.
But no one took them aside and say, let's nurture this. Hey, what is your price point? Is your price point right?
Mm,
How many people you know with baking cakes, just for baking cakes for church, but they're the best cake maker, but they didn't say, you know what? I'm gonna do more with this. I'm gonna get me a machine now that's gonna save time and invest in it. So we all have an entrepreneurial spirit. Many times it's we don't see the vision in it, and others don't see the vision in it as well. So we listen to what they have to say.
Yeah, that's
fair.
that's a good point. You mentioned the word nurturing, and that kind of transitions into the question whether or not we as Bahamians or the Bahamas itself, do we have a culture that nurtures entrepreneurship?
I mean, the reality in our culture, we don't really nurture business. You know what I mean? The ease of doing business is extremely difficult, especially for small business. So I don't even know if we just could put it on being an entrepreneur. Granted, during the COVID times, now they're giving out some small loans, grants, gifts. So I don't want to say the governments are not doing anything, but depends on your goal. Like 5,000, is it better than nothing? Yes. Can you start small and move forward? Yes. But is that enough for your dream, for your goal? You know, banks don't believe in you. They'll give you a car right away, but they wouldn't believe in you. See what I'm saying? So I don't think enough is being done for entrepreneurs. That being said, I don't think entrepreneurs are doing enough for people to take them serious.
Okay.
Where's your business plan? Okay, what's your cash flow? How you forecasting? What's your demographic? What is your market? Who else is in this same sphere? You know what I mean? So I as entrepreneurs, you have to do enough on the side so you could be taken seriously. What is your elevator pitch? Are these things in place for when you reach when you in the right room or someone asks you a question, you'll be able to go? You understand? Are you carrying a flash drive with you? Hey, no problem. Here you go, my brother. I appreciate you asking that. Here's what I'm thinking about, blah, blah, blah. But here's more at your leisure. You know, so as entrepreneurs, we have to be prepared. And oftentimes we just want things to be given because we have such a great idea. You know what I mean? Yeah, okay. Many people have great ideas, but they still had to work. They had to get in the right room. They had to bring other people on to help them with the idea. They had to bring on financial backing. They had to bring on individuals who say, hey, this makes sense, but your marketing plan is horrible. Hey, this makes sense, but you're really not a people person. No one's going to buy into this idea because you're a real, I'm trying to find the right word I could use on your platform.
This is a kids friendly.
Right. So, you know, some people are just not personable. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So that's it.
I don't want to make any excuses for those individuals who, don't prepare these documents and don't have these things, because there's always access to these things, going to YouTube and stuff like that. But do you think then that we should teach these things in schools? How do you create a business plan?
Yes.
Because
yes.
a lot of people just don't know how to do these things. And so maybe kind of incorporating some sort of entrepreneurial class within the school so that you're taught at a younger age how to do these things, how to create that elevator pitch and all of these things you discuss may be the best way forward so that they're fully prepared and put themselves in the best way forward so that they can get access to funding.
Right. I totally agree. It's just not that we evolve. We're evolving as a world, but our school system still is cookie cutter. You know what I mean? So like these, at least have them as electives. If you don't want to have them as, but we moved from originally, I think grandparents only had arithmetic, English, literature. So, but we moved to all these classes because we wanted to compete in the world. But now we're learning, but so much, but not retaining anything. And we're not learning about how to be a productive citizen. We're being taught that what we need to do is get good grades so we could go to college. How many of us can go? After the good grades, how many of us can afford to go? And then we afford how much is going to get the scholarship. Then how many of us parents can afford the loan for us to go? Because we did so well in school, but we just didn't do enough to get that scholarship. So these life lessons need to be taught. Money management need to be taught. So I think now the government through the SDPC, I think I said that right, is doing these sort of stuff. So I think this is a start in the right direction. But once again, like you mentioned, entrepreneurs need to do what they need to do in order to be taken seriously, in order to build that capital. And start without no capital, without anything else, start. So when you go to someone, here's what I've learned from what I already did.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So I guess for our last point, Jason, we wanted to quickly go through, I guess, the different costs of entrepreneurship in the different categories of life. The financial costs, the emotional costs, the spiritual costs, perhaps the family time costs. I mean, because although, there are great benefits to being an entrepreneur, there are costs and people need to be aware. So maybe if you can speak to any personal experience or from your observation, financial, emotional, spiritual, family life costs of
Right.
entrepreneurship.
Let's start with the family. The reality with me is that I normally work better at night or early mornings. So I'm just going to lose sleep, but I already did my family time because I'm with them the hours they're up, but no one is waking up as early as me, no one is staying up as late as me. So when I'm focusing on the idea, but that's a sacrifice I have to make personally to make sure that you're still present.
Oh, so you're saying in terms of family, you don't make your family bear the burden of the entrepreneurial costs. You do when it comes to
Right.
family time.
In terms of like just physical and
Sleep.
not being around. No, there are times where, hey, I can't make this because I have a client, such as life. Because I did the same thing when I was focusing on an event. I am training. Like when I was preparing for the Ironman, my friends knew not to call me. I'm not going out. I'm not going out for these 2 months because I have to do family time. So I'm riding my bike at 9 p.m. on the trainer. You know what I mean? Because I have to get the work in.
Right.
So once you're committed to a goal, people understand you're not going to be available for a short period of time. And the time you're absent is only a blimp on the radar.
Right.
It's a short in the grand scheme of things. And if they're your friend, and if they're in your corner, and if there's someone who believes in you, they understand you're going to do this because this is important to you. You'll be right back.
Right.
The emotional costs, spiritual costs, you have to stay grounded. Like you guys did before we started. You didn't see it, but you opened with a word of prayer before we started. You have to stay grounded. I don't care who you believe in. You have to believe in a power greater than yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not getting into this and that, but you have to believe that I cannot do this on my own. So I need help through these situations. And financially, it's going to be rough because you sometimes you have to make a decision. What am I going to do with this money? Should I get out of it now because I'm not sure where it's heading, or do I keep on putting back in? Because you have to put it back in. You know what I mean? You have to turn it over. You have to turn it over. And one of the advantage, and to piggyback what we said about earlier, of working a 9 to 5 and then starting your entrepreneurial endeavors is that I was able to take basically everything I made initially and pour it back into the business from that side because okay, I needed shirts. I got screens. I did this. I did that. I did this. I did that. So just keep on going back. Keep on going back. I got handbags. I got bags. So I was able to flip it, and I really didn't have any effect. But the business was growing,
Right.
whilst I still was keeping business as usual on the Donovan side of things, while Jay was expanding. And then it came a point where Jay could handle itself. So that's important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So let me ask you something. If someone chooses the path of entrepreneurship, how important is it then to have a partner or a spouse, I guess, who understands that? Because you may have a partner or a spouse who's all about security, and and they may not be able to take all of these costs that are associated with entrepreneurship. So how important is that in terms of the partner you choose or the spouse that you choose?
Or your other dependents. You might have mom, dad, a child, or whoever else depending on you financially and time wise, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, this clearly that's important. We can differ. You could be the one about security, and I could be the one not. But you still have to believe in me. You know what I mean. So if you don't pick someone, granted, you might be doing force, and they might need to really win. But it comes from a place of building that currency up. You have to do enough to build up the currency that if you said you're going to get something done, that they know that, hey, when Jay said it, Jay got that done. Jay said you got that done. Okay, you got that done. You see what I'm saying? So it is important to pick that partner who understands what you're doing, because you can't get it done if you trying to do this and you being hounded at home about la 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 la, you know what I mean? It's just not gonna work. So that adds to the mental fatigue of the home situation, which then leads over into what you're trying to accomplish. So now you're further second guessing yourself. So the support system is always important. And if you have to be mindful, Muhammad Ali divorced his wife because she didn't believe he could be George Foreman. You know what I mean? So
That's deep.
so it's up to you. So you have to make life is about tough decisions. You see what I'm saying? We make it more difficult. We confound it with this and that. But life boils down to simple decisions that we just need to make. If you feel that what's holding you back is the person you chose, then you need to make a decision because you chose that person.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then it's a tough decision to make, but then you have to make it.
Yeah.
So that sounds like it's twofold. You need to choose a partner who's supportive, but you also need to do what you said you're going to do so that everyone's doing their part in the equation.
Right. Because you need, even on a 9 to 5, you need the hamster wheel to keep moving. It doesn't matter because and I'm going to sort this out. We're in a fake marriage, okay, Ann?
Okay, no problem. Okay.
So you say you're going to sort this out. I say I'm going to sort this out. So it doesn't matter what my extracurricular activities are, my 9 to 5, my entrepreneur, my clubs. I made a commitment that I'm going to sort this out. So outside it, I still need to make sure these things are sorted out so the wheel keeps turning and the wheel keeps turning. Yes, we can have rough days. Like any relationship, it doesn't matter what you're doing. We're not going to agree every time. But just stay committed to the goal. Stay committed to your commitment to the family as well, because these are commitments that have to go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. No. Complex stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
But Jason, just because we're running out of time right now, I know we could probably talk for hours about this.
The sun's setting on me. I don't know if that's a sign to say move on, but this never happened before, bro.
But we just final takeaway for our viewers who've been on and watching. What's the final takeaway you want to give to them in terms of, they're interested in getting into entrepreneurship and taking that leap? What's that final takeaway you want to give to them?
The final takeaway is that you have to find out why. Why do you want to do it? Because it's the sexy thing in 2021, or you actually this being gnawing at you? Because it's something inside telling us what to do. We try to push it to the box, so the voice gets lower and lower. But we know what we actually want to do. We know when we're living an unfulfilled life. So you feel there is something you could do to bring fulfillment, go after it. Read about it. Tell someone about it. When you are accountable, then and when you verbalize it, write the plan down, you're more likely to go after it and attain it. So believe in yourself. You have to believe. Get your mind right. TD Jake said, you cannot tell a beautiful person they're beautiful if they believe they're not. So the flip side of that, if you believe you're going to fail, you're going to fail. The person who said he can and the person who said he can't are both right. So believe in your goal, go after your goal, read upon your goal, focus on your goal. Just let people know, go, start. Before I end, there's a post I made myself a long time because we always think that we have a silly idea. Someone came up with the idea of shark tornado. Let's have sharks in a tornado. They verbalize it. Someone said yes, and they actually put the movie out. They have 5 or 6 now. Think about that. Yeah. Think about being in business and say, yo, let's have some tornadoes with some sharks in it, buddy. Think about that. Think about that. Yeah. So your idea has value. You just need to make sure you're in the room that appreciates what you have to say. Right. And just work hard, my brother. Things will come.
Yeah.
Wow. Jason, we're so honored to have you. We enjoyed every single word you said. We just eating it up, and your energy is infectious. So it was so awesome having you on, and hopefully we can be on your show one day. We would love that.
Yeah, you don't know. Fit to spend. David, fit to spend.
There we go.
Yeah,
ready.
We go. But if anybody wants to reach you, how can they reach you in terms of your Facebook, Instagram? Where can they go to reach you?
So they can email me at jayfitness242@gmail.com. That's JAY fitness242@gmail. Instagram, Facebook, jfitness242, YouTube page, jfitness242. So the synergy about it. You can call me 359-1156. We can make it happen. If I don't pick up, WhatsApp me. I'll get back to you. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me on. I really, really, really appreciate it. Yeah. Next word to entrepreneurs. Sometimes you need to borrow to get things done because you might not have the money. Find people who are looking for what you want, and then you say, hey, I'll offer this service, you offer that service, and let's call it a good day.
No, that's a good point.
That's really good.
That's a good point.
No excuses.
Yeah.
You can't say I don't have the money. Try and barter skills. It's good.
All right. Thanks again, Donovan. We really appreciate it. And yeah, thanks again.
All the best. We're on the lookout for you and your new book. His new book.
Yes.
The
Heart of a Spartan.
Heart of a Spartan.
Yeah.
So
All the old book, diverse. Book of poetry. All about, man. Gotta do your stuff. Gotta do your thing, man.
We'll drop those links on or drop more information about it on our social media. So look
Appreciate
out for that, guys.
Appreciate that.
Thanks again.
All right. Safe.
Bye, guys.